Hi, everyone, and welcome to the charge. We are certainly going to get started, but we'll wait a couple of minutes for people to sign on. But now is a great time to go grab a coffee or something you might want to drink. So we'll see you in a few minutes. With everybody here, how's everybody doing? If you guys can see, there's a chat function on your GoToWebinar. Let me know how you guys are feeling, because I wanted to see if you guys can hear us, if there's anything wrong with our sound. Now is a great time to get that feedback on that. So if you guys can just send us a quick message on that chat function, that'd be great. Perfect. Thank you, Daniel. So many bright-eyed people this morning. Morning for us. Hopefully for some of you it might be evening, but I'm glad you guys can join us today. Okay, we're just waiting for a few more people to trickle in. It just started for some people, so it might take them a few minutes. Okay. So hopefully you guys have had a chance to check out the videos, but we're probably just going to get started just because we want to keep to your time and make sure that everybody gets a chance to ask their questions when they get there. So hello everyone and welcome to the charge. This is Delta Q's video series on how we discussed how to manage and prevent and correct battery and battery charger issues. So today's webinar is our last video. Before we get into our last topics of the charger data extractions and charger integration, let me introduce ourselves and our speakers for today. My name is Amanda Yo. I'm Delta Q's marketing manager and today's webinar moderator. Joining me today is Conway, our Director of Sales Application Engineering and Customer Support at Delta Q, who will also be our webinar presenter. So before we get started, I wanted to bring your attention, for those who just joined us, to the functions of GoToWebinar. As you'll notice that there are a few functions to the side there. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please put them into the chat box and we'll be able to see your questions and answer them during the Q&A. As we kind of go through, feel free to continue adding, and if there's any more questions, we'll try to get to them at the end as well. So now that we've gone over the platform, let's get started. So who are we? Delta Q is a leading battery charger manufacturer for lead acid and lithium-ion batteries. Our charging solutions are used around the world in a variety of applications. More than 3 million electric vehicles and industrial machines rely on our products today. So in this webinar, we will recap what we've covered so far in the educational series from those 3 days, have a short Q&A, and then we'll discuss how to extract charger data, some tips for charger integrations, followed by our big product reveal, which will redefine the charging expectations for the floor care industry. So just to recap, in our first video, we discussed our thoughts on charger validation and the best design practices to minimize the risk of failure. In the second video, we covered and went into the charger software and how the wrong charger profile, including things like the overcharge requirements, max voltage limits, and other things, could lead to suboptimal charging, reducing battery life and machine runtime. And in our third video, we addressed the use of our charger data to predict when the likelihood of battery failure is increasing, as well as to gather information that could be helpful when enforcing warranty claims, avoiding service calls, and more. And for today's last topic, we'll cover 2 things. First, we'll talk about the extraction of charger data, and then we'll talk a little bit about the integrated system design, especially in floor care equipment like burnishers, scrubbers, and sweepers. But before we begin, let's answer this quick poll because we know that you guys have had a chance to take a look at the videos. So why don't you guys answer this quick poll that we have? Okay. So we'll give you guys a few minutes to put in your answers and we will see how it was, if there's any of these that were more useful to you and which ones were ones that you guys preferred more than the others. So we'll let you guys put in your answers there. So I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Everybody in. Oh, you can definitely see a few things. So almost all of you guys have put in. We still have about a few more people. Everybody got their votes in? Not quite. Oh, some of you guys are having a hard time deciding. Okay, we're gonna close the poll. So for those who didn't, you can definitely let us know if we had a chance. So based on what we had, it looks like certainly around day 3 and day 1 were certainly ones in which were a split mix between the two. But let's continue on. Perfect, thank you. So why don't we begin a few of our Q&As for the 3 educational videos. So again, let me introduce you to Conway, who is our Director of Sales Applications. So I'm going to pass it on to Conway, and we'll get started on a few of the questions for day 1 and day 2, and day 3, so that we can get there first. So Conway.
Hi, everyone. Sure thing. Let's go ahead with some Q&A questions. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so if you guys had any questions from the first couple of days, please put it into your chat functions now. We'll answer a few of those questions. We certainly see a few. So one of the first questions that we had is there an automatic shut off in the charger or a kill switch when no fans working on it just shuts off?
Yeah. All of our chargers have a detection for heat inside the charger. So if it gets too hot, is broken, or the room is too hot, then it'll reduce power automatically to account for that. It won't necessarily shut off, but it'll keep working.
Okay, and a couple of questions that we had from the other sections are usually in regards to the USBs. So I think one of the questions that we had was whether or not we can use all of the any USB with our chargers.
Sure, yeah, pretty much any USB stick off the shelf in a retail store will work to plug into any of our chargers that have the USB port, and then the charger will just automatically write the charging data to the USB. Sometimes we get people who have problems with a stick, maybe it's corrupted or not formatted properly, but usually reformatting it or getting a different stick solves the problem.
Okay, there are quite a few questions here, which will certainly take longer than the time that we allotted for the first little bit here, so we might save them for the end. But we're actually going to continue on to a few. It seems like there are not too many questions. There's a couple in terms of what is the warranty on the charger? So could you go through and answer that question?
The warranty on the charger depends on the arrangement with our customer or OEM or manufacturer. It's usually around 2 years or so.
Okay. And a few of these others, we certainly see a lot of them. So we're actually going to continue on. We're going to save some of these questions for the end. So don't worry, if we don't get to your questions, we will certainly get to them at the end, or we will send you guys a note if we don't get them all today. So as we continue on, we're going to continue, as we mentioned, about a few more things in terms of data extractions. So I'm going to pass it on to Conway to talk about this section here and some of the tips that we have for charger integration.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Amanda. So in the past sessions, you've learned how valuable charger data can be. How do we get this information to the user or to the service team who can do something with it? So this can be done directly by using a USB drive, as pictured here. to pull the data from the charger and then view it on a computer. Or that same data can be pulled to a computer via a CAN tool, like this one. Both of these methods allow someone to analyze the data locally at their machine, or if the files are emailed or sent to someone, even remotely analyzed. So we often have customers send us data from their USB downloads, or actually sometimes they'll even mail us the entire USB stick. Also, a technician on site can analyze it themselves with the free simple IDAT tool that's available on our website. So we're ready for the future though, and that's this indirect method, or CAN to cloud. And it's what we call the telematics path. More and more of our OEMs are installing wireless data modules in their machines and including the charger in that CAN network. So this allows not only for remote viewing and retrieval of charger data, but continuous monitoring of the charger along with the machine. It's then also easy to share this information with DeltaQ without a technician visit or user involvement, and we can still address the issue with the machine. The additional benefit of this telematics path is actually the reverse path of data. That means that if we need to, we can adapt to the use case, the user use pattern, or add other new features to the charger. And that can be done remotely via telematics to reprogram the charger without a technician visit.
Okay, so let's go over the summaries of kind of what we covered here. So in terms of the preferred method for DeltaQ, it's definitely called the telematics path. Allowing information shared from equipment in the field to your own cloud-enabled network. So having the software certainly helps with that as well. And some of the benefits, some of the benefits that you can have is generating insights, solving to solve common problems related to the charger, and of course, guiding future charger design improvements. And then the last one being the charger manufacturers can send software updates to the charger itself. So let me pass it back to Conway to have him go over the integration of charger in a connected system.
Yeah, so what we're finding is telematics and deep integration of the charger, it actually enables our customers so much more flexibility with where they install the charger in the machine. Whereas before, with older charger designs, they had to be accessible for service or viewing of the display or plugging cords in. But truly integrated chargers can be installed almost anywhere. But you can only do that sort of thing with a very highly reliable charger that doesn't fail and this doesn't take many hours of labor to replace. So here's a few things to think about when it comes to deep integration of chargers. So the first tip is to choose a charger that's compact, the right power, and also sealed. So a compact charger can be installed in more places and more orientations. And we also recommend picking the right power level, just as much as the user needs to charge the battery in the time that they want. So this ensures that space isn't wasted on power that isn't needed. And then also sealing ensures that particles and other things don't get into the charger in the hidden location that you've chosen. The next tip is to leave adequate space for the charger. This allows for enough airflow so heat from the charger can escape and cool air can reach the charger. Some of our customers have actually buried the chargers so much inside the machine that they have to add basically a cooling fan and a whole ventilation system with an exhaust port to keep the chargers cool. And our third tip is to include a remote display. And now this can be as simple as a single LED on the display panel, but we highly recommend adding the charger commands to a CAN-based display so the user can see more error codes and maybe even troubleshooting text from our service manual. And that can be really interesting because imagine if the user could troubleshoot their own charging problems and not have to call for help. So before we introduce our new charging solution for the floor care industry, does anyone have any questions regarding what we just discussed, charger data extraction and charger integration? I'm seeing a couple questions here. Wall mounting of chargers. Yeah, we do a lot of wall mounting of chargers. I would say maybe about half of our chargers are off board and either sit on a shelf or are bolted to the wall. You'll see most of our chargers have mounting holes on them that allow them to be mounted on the wall.
And so another question that we have is, can you pull a charger into the field and send it to the OEM if requested?
Yeah, so like I said, there's a few ways to do that. The simplest way is if the charger has a USB port and someone just plugs a USB stick into that charger and emails a service group the information, and then the service group emails it to us. Or sometimes a customer might have trouble getting things from the USB stick to email. We can take that entire USB stick and mail it back to us, and we can help analyze it.
We also have a couple questions in regards to whether or not we have a cloud-based system currently available, or is the cloud-based system currently available?
Yeah, so Delta Q ourselves, we don't have a telematics or cloud-based system, but our OEMs and our customers, they are all either designing their own or working with third-party solution provider that supplies the box in the machine that then talks to the cloud.
Okay, so we do have a few questions, but we're just being aware of people's time. We're certainly gonna answer a few more at the end, but just to be conscious, let's continue on and let's talk about what we have in store for everybody else. We're really excited for this, and I'm gonna pass it off to Conway to be able to explain this and introduce what our new products are.
Sure thing. So our solution to all the charger issues that have been plaguing manufacturers and end users of the smallest floor care machines has been to design a high quality, high frequency charger we call the RQ350. So the RQ350 is a highly reliable 350 watt charger that works for both lead acid and lithium ion batteries. So we're really pleased to finally be able to offer a 350 watt charger for small floor care machines. Our big areas of focus with the RQ350 were to deliver the fastest charge and the best reliability in a durable, automotive grade, fully sealed charger. Now, these are features that are very rare among existing 350 watt chargers in the floor care industry. So these features are designed to maximize the machine uptime and ensure high battery performance as well as other benefits, of course. So we know that in small floor care machines, there are a lot of problems with small chargers, with as much as 30% of units experiencing severe issues just in the first 6 months. So the inconvenience of not just losing uptime on the machine, but the hassle of arranging service or calling for repair or a technician to come in can lead to dissatisfied or unhappy end customers. And of course, as manufacturers or OEMs, this can lead to increased warranty costs, overall poor customer satisfaction, and it might even affect battery warranty. So this was a really good opportunity for improvement for Delta Q, right, to come in and help. So that's what inspired us to come up with a charger that would be the best charger for small floor care equipment. The RQ350, it benefits from many years of experience that we have in reliable charger design in our IC series, the RC series, and also the ICL. In addition to reliable hardware, we also verify our charging profiles with leading battery manufacturers. And that proves that everything was optimized and effective in real world. We can also create custom algorithms depending on specific requirements. But here's a few battery brands that we work with. Trojan, we've worked with for a very long time, as well as US Batteries. Some of the newer lithium ones include Samsung and Discover's new lithium line, as well as their AGMs. So key features of the RQ350. Now, these key features here, they reflect what we've learned from the floor care market, and actually from all of our markets and the rest of our product line. So the first is IP66 enclosure that seals the charger against the harshest environments. CAN communications and support for even further types of integration with BMSs, different signals and such. And lastly, this was a big lesson, was the stricter residential or automotive level emissions and immunity, especially for European compliance anyways. So the end result of all this, it's not just increased reliability, but increased total value of ownership due to longer life and fewer warranty claims. So the RQ350 is designed to be a charger that lasts as long as the machine does. In fact, we want you to put this charger in the system and pretty much forget that it was ever there. It just works. So as you've heard earlier in this webinar, there are a lot of benefits to deeper integration of chargers into machines. And the RQ350 is designed with this in mind as well. All the CAN integration features that we discussed that are from our other charger lines are going to be available in the RQ350. Now, there's one last point that's often overlooked, and that is that Delta Q has a global team dedicated to helping you come up with a charger configuration and integration solution. And also, they'll be able to train staff and service groups, as well as assist with any field issues or questions about fielded chargers. So let's wrap up with some takeaways from the RQ350. So the 350 delivers features that are rare among similar chargers, such as fast charge and high reliability. It's a durable, fully sealed, automotive grade charger. And like all Delta Q chargers, it shares charge performance through live validated charge profiles. And lastly, the RQ350 is designed to ensure maximum machine uptime and high battery performance.
Okay. Well, thank you, Conway, for presenting this. We're really excited about this product and how we'll hopefully be able to help a few issues that some of our customers are having. So if you're challenged with these issues, we'd love to hear from you. Even if it isn't a fit for your machines, we still might be able to provide you with some helpful guidance in regards to how you can better charge some of your products. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at marketing@deltaq.com and we'll pass them off to our respective groups. But we're happy to provide any spec sheets, product samples, or otherwise share any information that might be valuable for you. But we know that there's been a lot of information today, and we want to make sure that you guys answer and get a chance to answer those questions. So don't worry, there will be this presentation being sent to you through a PDF, and we will also provide this for you through a secondary video, so you can watch this video on your own time as well. So just before we get there, we do have a few more questions that we had from people sending us questions throughout the entire time. So one of the questions, Conway, maybe you can answer, is in regards to the other sections earlier. So can you pull info from the charger into the field and send it to the OEM if requested? I think we might.
Yeah, I think we went over that. I mean, we can discuss that again. There's different ways to do it, but USB is the most common way if the charger has a USB to pull that. Hopefully in the future, there'll be telematics solutions that'll just pull the data automatically without any kind of visit or service required.
And a different question is, does an offboard and onboard usage depend on the vehicle segment or OEM preference in each segment?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question, actually. And what we've seen is we've seen, especially in floor care, a slow shift from offboard to onboard. And That could have been because the older off-board chargers were less reliable and heavier, so you couldn't really carry it around on the machine. But these newer chargers, such as ours, are smaller, lighter. They can be packaged inside the machine, floor care. But there are applications where we still see a lot of off-board use when the machine or whatever the vehicle is so small that the charger being on board would make up such a big portion of space or weight, like a small motorcycle or bicycle. We get a lot of robots or flying things that fly, like a drone. You wouldn't necessarily put the charger on board in that case, but most of the other applications, they're very happy to have the charger on board and with them wherever they take the machine.
Okay. And then a couple of questions from a few people actually. Does the outlet need to be a very specific amp for the charger, anywhere from 15, 20? Can you expand those sections for us, please?
Yeah, all of our chargers for North America, especially with 120 volts, 110, are designed to work with a 15 amp outlet because that's what you find everywhere. And sometimes you can't tell if you're plugged into a 15 or 20 amp outlet. So all of our chargers are going to work on a 15 amp outlet.
Okay. Yes, don't forget, we certainly do have quite a few questions here. Given that we are getting up to our time, if anybody has any last minute questions, for sure, put them in now. But we'd love to get your feedback on what you guys have heard and whether or not it's been helpful for you. If you guys can send us that feedback. But that really kind of concludes quite a lot of what we wanted to talk about for today. And hopefully you guys had enjoyed the charge series. We would certainly love to hear if you would like to hear different types of information or what kind of information you'd like to hear from us in regards to charging. That information will be helpful for us to be able to provide information that you will want for the future. But thank you everyone for joining today. Just to give you a reminder, we will be sending out these slides and the video to you in your inbox. So you'll get a chance to digest the information and then send us more questions if you have it. But thank you everyone for joining us today. And hopefully you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.